Dear students, today I will start a new chapter, Respiration, from the course Plant Physiology 1. Today I will restrict myself just to introduce you what is the process of respiration and what organelle is majorly linked with the process of respiration. I will give a bit introduction of the structure of this organelle and its role in the process of respiration. I am Dr. Smina Mahmood, Assistant Professor, Botany in the University of Education, Lahore. As all living organisms need energy to maintain their life, and they obtain this energy from the process of respiration. So in this lecture I will introduce you what is respiration, and if it is so important, then why plants don't need any respiratory organ, and what is mitochondria and how it is linked with the process of respiration. Respiration is an enzymatically controlled biochemical process in which cells of an organism obtain energy by combining glucose and oxygen, resulting in the release of carbon dioxide, water, and ATP. ATP stands for adenosine triphosphate and it is the major source of energy in any living organism. Or, in other words, we can describe the respiration as an intracellular oxidation reduction process in which organic complexes are oxidized to carbon dioxide and oxygen absorbed is reduced to form water with stepwise release of energy. As we all know that all living organisms require energy for all the basic activities of life like growth, development, reproduction, etc. And this energy is obtained from the oxidation of the food during respiration. And in case of plants, this food is the carbohydrates which are synthesized in the process of photosynthesis, or proteins or fats which are known as respiratory substrates. This is the basic equation of respiration in which glucose in the presence of oxygen converted into carbon dioxide water with the release of energy, and glucose which is breakdown in the process of respiration, it's synthesized by the process of photosynthesis. Both processes, respiration and photosynthesis, operate side by side in the same cell, but they have different substrates. The product of photosynthesis is the raw material for the process of respiration, and the product of the for the process of respiration is the raw material for photosynthesis. Respiration is actually a catabolic process in which the product is breakdown into the basic components, while photosynthesis is the anabolic process in which small units get combined to form a complex molecule. Here you can see the difference between photosynthesis and respiration. The purpose of photosynthesis is to synthesize and store energy in the cell, while in the process of respiration, energy is released in the form of ATP. Photosynthesis occur in the chloroplast, while respiration occur in mitochondria. Photosynthesis in the carbon dioxide and water in the presence of sunlight, they get converted into glucose. In this process of synthesis, some amount of energy in the form of ATP is also utilized. while in the process of respiration, glucose in the presence of oxygen get break down into carbon dioxide and water with the release of energy. And that energy is actually used for all the basic living requirements of an organism. In the process of photosynthesis, mostly the plants gain their dry mass or dry weight, while in the process of respiration, mostly dry mass get reduced. Sunlight and chlorophyll is the basic requirement for the process of photosynthesis to initiate, while in the respiration process is independent of the sunlight and chlorophyll. As sunlight and chlorophyll is the basic requirement for the process of photosynthesis, so photosynthesis occur during daytime only. While the process of respiration, as it is independent of these two requirements, so it is operated 24 hours or day and night. However, its rate of respiration is vary during day and night. Respiration is the basic process to provide the energy in the cell of all the living organisms. So, animals, humans, they have specialized organs where the process of respiration occurs. Unlike animals, plants do not possess any specialized organs for the exchange of gases, but they have lenticels and stomata present in the stem and leaves, respectively, that carry out the function of gaseous exchange. Plants do not have any specialized organ to respire and exchange gases because each part of the plant take care of the need of the gases themselves. The parts of the plant do not display any great demand for the exchange of gases. Added to this, stems, leaves, and roots respire at very low rate as compared to the animals. But during the process of photosynthesis, large exchange of gases takes place and each part of the plant is well adapted to fulfill its need of gas. Availability of oxygen is not a problem during photosynthesis because the cells release oxygen within cells. It is important to note that each living cell in a plant is located quite close to the surface of the plant. And in case of stem, the living cells are arranged in the form of thin layers beneath and inside the bark and have openings which are referred as lenticels. Thereby, the respiration and translocation takes place at every part of the plant. Let's critically analyze the equation of respiration. The left side of the equation based on glucose and oxygen. These two are called the raw material or respiratory substrates. Glucose is the example of carbohydrate which is the major source of raw material in plants. However, in the absence of carbohydrates, lipids can also serve as respiratory substrates. And during starvation, proteins can also serve as respiratory substrates. So, in general, carbohydrates or proteins or lipids in the presence of oxygen they get converted into carbon dioxide, water, and ATPs. This is the right side of the equation. Now, carbon dioxide and water they are basically the byproducts, while ATP is the major product of respiration. In one cycle of respiration, almost 36 to 38 ATPs are produced, and one ATP molecule is equivalent to 30.5 kilojoule of the energy. And if we multiply the total 36 with 30.5, it is almost equivalent to 1089 kilojoule of the energy, and this is the usable form of energy. In the next lecture, I will also introduce you with ATP, what is ATP, what is the structure of ATP, and why it is so important a source of energy as compared to ADP or AMP. Now, this simple looking process of respiration is actually a chain of enzymatically controlled reaction which are more than 50 in number, and all of these reactions are categorized under glycolysis, the Krebs or citric acid cycle, and electron transport chain. And all of these processes, they are majorly occur in cytosol and in the mitochondria, majorly in the mitochondria. We all know that mitochondria is known as the powerhouse of the cell. Why? Because only the process of glycolysis that occur in the cytosol, the remaining and most important and crucial steps of citric acid or Krebs cycle and electron transport chain, these all processes they occur in mitochondria. That's why, and most of the part of ATPs which are produced in this process of respiration, they are produced into mitochondria and then get exported into the other parts of the cell. That's why mitochondria is known as the powerhouse of the cell. Mitochondria, it is also called the powerhouse of the cell. Why it is called so? Because the process of respiration is majorly operated inside inside the mitochondria. It is zero point 0.5 to 1 micrometer in diameter and 2 to 6 micrometer in length. This is mostly the center for the aerobic respiration. Respiration is also divided into two types, aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. And major source of energy in the body is comes from aerobic respiration. I will introduce you with the types of respiration in detail in next lectures. And this organelle mitochondria is present in almost all living eukaryotes. It has different shapes. It may be filament or rod shape or any other shape. It is colorless organelle. It has two membranes, the outer membrane and inner membrane. And the space between these two membranes is called intermembrane space or perimitochondrial space. Both of these membranes, outer membrane and the inner membrane, are made up of phospholipid bilayer and proteins. But these two membranes have different properties. Outer membrane is freely permeable to small molecules just like ions and sugar molecules. So the concentration of small molecules in the cytosol and in the intermembrane space is almost same, while the inner membrane is selectively permeable and it is mostly permeable for water, carbon dioxide and oxygen. There are many important enzymes which are involved in the redox reaction and oxidative phosphorylation in the process of respiration, ATP synthase, and many other enzymes which are involved in the transport of protons and other ATPs which are synthesized inside the matrix in the transport from mitochondria to the cytosol. Or these important enzymes, these are present on the inner membrane or inside the liquid material which is called matrix, which is embedded within the inner membrane. uh, Inner membrane contain inside the inner membrane there is a solid gel like dense solution. It is homogeneous in nature and it contains almost two-third part of the enzymes which are involved in the process of respiration. And it is the most important with respect to the process of respiration. Inner membrane also folds just like knobs or fingers into the matrix, and the purpose of this enfolding is just to increase the surface area and to enhance the production of ATP with the help of ATP synthase enzyme. The liquid or the matrix which is confined by the inner membrane is contain F1 particles, ribosomes, mitochondrial DNA, enzymes involved in Krebs cycle, and electron transport chain, and enzymes involved in the transport, and many other enzymes as well. Further detail about the structure of mitochondria is given in the next slide. Structure of mitochondria. As I told you in the last slide, it contains two membranes. Here is the further detail about the structure of mitochondria. Outer membrane is permeable, as I told you earlier, and it consists of 40% lipids and 60% proteins. Inner membrane is selectively permeable to water, oxygen, and carbon dioxide, and it is consist of 20% lipid and 80% proteins, and it has the most important part in the process of respiration, because most of the enzymes, they are present on the surface of the inner membrane. And intermembrane space, also known as perimitochondrial space, it is almost 70 angstrom, high in proton concentration. Cristae, these are the folds of the inner membrane into the matrix, encloses a narrow space called intercristial space, contains enzymes for the respiration. Elementary particles present on the inner surface of the inner membrane named as F1 particle or oxysome, and these range in size and number between 10 raised to power 4 to 10 raised to power 5 in a single mitochondria. Matrix is gel-like, contain DNA, enzymes, proteins, and etc. And it is important to mention here that mitochondria contains two chambers. One is the outer chamber, which is present between the outer membrane and inner membrane, and the second one is the matrix, which is present inside the inner membrane. And the second chamber, which is present inside the inner membrane, is most important with respect to the process of respiration. As I told you in the previous slide, that the inner membrane and matrix is very important with respect to the respiration. This is the schematic presentation of the mitochondrial energy metabolism, and it shows that mitochondria has a separate metabolic compartment, and it is an overview that degradation of the substrate to carbon dioxide and hydrogen takes place in the mitochondrial matrix, and then on the inner membrane, and it is on the inner membrane, it is oxidized there by the respiratory chain. The respiratory chain is comprised of a sequence of redox reactions. Redox means oxidation and reduction processes by which electrons are transferred from NADH to oxygen. As in the synthetic electron transport, the mitochondrial electron transport by the respiratory chain release free energy, which is used to generate a proton gradient. This in turn derives the synthesis of ATP, which is exported from the mitochondria and provides the energy required for cellular metabolism. This process is universal and functions in the mitochondria of all eukaryotic cells. as inner membrane of the mitochondria is impermeable or selectively permeable. To make it selectively permeable, specific translocators are present in the inner membrane. Here in this picture, you can see these specific translocators enable a specific transport of metabolites between the mitochondrial matrix and the cytosol in a counter exchange mode. Here you can see if malate goes inside, then phosphate comes out. And if alpha ketoglutarate goes inside, then malate comes outside. Likewise, here citrate and malate, oxaloacetate and malate, pyruvate and hydroxyl ion and glutamate and aspartate. These are the specific translocators which are present in the inner membrane of mitochondria, and these translocators make sure the selective permeability of the mitochondria. Only specific solutes or ions they can exchange uh, in a counter exchange mode in the inner membrane of the mitochondria. These are a few historical milestones that paved the way to the discovery of the mitochondria and the process of respiration. In 1894, Richard Altman discovered the granular particles. Later, these particles are named by Carol Benda in 1898, and he coined the name of mitochondria. In 1913, Otto Warburg discovered the role of mitochondria in respiration, the process of biological oxidation discovered in 1932 by Heinrich Weyland. 1937, Hermann Kalkar, USA, discovered the synthesis of ATP in aerobic condition depends upon the oxygen availability. And in 1937, Hans Krebs discovered the citrate cycle or Krebs cycle in mitochondria. In 1948, Eugene Candy and Albert Lehinger in USA discovered that mitochondria contains enzymes necessary for the citrate cycle and oxidative phosphorylation. These findings demonstrated the function of mitochondria as the power station of the cell. I hope you all will be able to understand um, what is the respiration, why it is so important, what is the structure of mitochondria, why it is so important, and what is its role in the process of respiration. For further readings, you can read Plant Biochemistry and Plant Respiration from Cell to Ecosystem. I used these two books to prepare this lecture. Thank you very much.